All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to talk about the one type of insurance you probably don't have, but maybe you should. It's designed to protect the one asset that funds your entire life, and honestly, ignoring it can be one of the biggest financial mistakes a person can make.
So, to get us started, let me just ask you a simple question. What is your most valuable asset? Really think about it for a second. Is it your house, your retirement account, your stock portfolio?
Now, if your first thought was your house, hey, you're in good company. That's what most people say. But while it might be the biggest physical thing you own, it's not the asset that powers everything else. Here it is. Your single most valuable asset is your ability to earn a paycheck. That's it. That income stream, day after day, year after year, that's what pays the mortgage. That's what funds your retirement. It's what supports your entire lifestyle. You see, without that engine, everything else just grinds to a halt.
And here's the kicker. The risk to that income is so much higher than we think. We all buy life insurance to protect against dying too soon, but the data is pretty clear. You have up to a 1 in 4 chance of suffering a disability that keeps you out of work before you retire. As you can see on this chart, that's a far, far more likely event. So what actually happens when that income suddenly just stops? It's not just about missing a single paycheck. It's about a devastating chain reaction that can unfold.
It really is like a series of financial dominoes. First, that emergency savings you worked so hard to build up, it gets drained, and usually a lot faster than you'd expect. Once that's gone, you're forced to start selling off investments, maybe at the worst possible time in the market. Then, of course, your retirement contributions stop cold, putting your future on hold. And if it goes on long enough, even your home could be at risk. But there is a way to stop the domino effects before it even starts. There's a very specific financial tool designed for exactly this purpose. We're talking about income protection insurance. The simplest way to think about it is just paycheck protection. That's all it is. It's an insurance policy that pays you a regular monthly income if you get too sick or injured to do your job. It literally keeps the money coming in when you can't work.
So how much does it cover? Well, a solid policy is typically designed to replace about 60 to 70% of your gross income. The idea is to have enough to cover all the essential bills, the mortgage, the utilities, the groceries, so you don't have to make a drastic change to your lifestyle.
And get this is a massive advantage. When you buy a policy yourself, with your own after-tax money, any benefits you receive are almost always completely tax-free. That makes that 60 or 70% replacement even more powerful than it sounds.
Okay, let's dive into the details because this is so important. Not all policies are created equal, not even close. The fine print really matters, and there is one single detail that's more important than everything else combined. This right here is the absolute heart of the contract. It's called the definition of disability. This is the clause that spells out exactly when, how, and if the insurance company has to pay you. You have to get this part right. You really need to know about 2 main types. The weakest, the one you generally want to avoid, is called any occupation. It basically only pays if you're so disabled you can't do any reasonable job. But the gold standard, the one you want, is own occupation. This means the policy pays you if you can't perform the main duties of your specific job. Think about it. A surgeon with a hand injury can't operate anymore. With an own occupation policy, she's covered, even if she could go teach at a university. It's a night and day difference. Now, on top of that main definition, you can add some upgrades. They're called riders, to make your policy even stronger. There are 3 you should really know about. The first is a residual disability rider. This is crucial. It pays you a partial benefit if you can still work, but maybe only part-time, protecting you from a big drop in income. Second, a future increase option lets you buy more coverage down the road as your income goes up, with no new medical exams. And finally, a cost of living adjustment, or COLA rider, makes sure your benefit increases each year so inflation doesn't eat away at its value. Now, a lot of people think, hey, I've got workers' comp, so I'm covered, right? Well, not really. Workers' comp only applies if you get hurt or sick on the job. True income protection covers you 24/7, whether you get sick at home or get injured playing softball on a Saturday. So what about your emergency fund? Well, that's for short-term problems, right? It's designed to cover you for a few months. It was never built to handle a long-term disability that could last for years, maybe even decades. That's what insurance is for. It handles the big, long-term risks. And finally, trying to rely on the government's Social Security Disability Insurance, or SSDI, that is an incredibly risky bet.
The definition of disability they use is super strict. Most people who apply get denied. The process can drag on for years. And even if you do get approved, the benefits are usually much lower than what you actually need. So when you start to put all of this together, you can really see how income protection becomes the absolute foundation of your entire financial plan. This isn't just some optional extra. It's the first piece of the puzzle. Think of it like this. Your ability to earn an income is the ground that your whole financial house is built on. Well, income protection is the solid concrete foundation that makes sure that house can withstand anything. Because when that income is secure, everything else can keep on working just like it's supposed to. Your mortgage keeps getting paid. You continue to save for retirement. Your family's life isn't completely turned upside down. And maybe, most importantly, it gives you incredible peace of mind during what would otherwise be a crazy, stressful time. So, at the end of the day, this isn't just another policy to think about. When you look at the real-world chances of something happening, having solid coverage is what stands between a medical issue and a complete financial catastrophe. It really is the backbone of a healthy financial plan. So I'll leave you with this one question to think about. Just ask yourself, if your paycheck stopped tomorrow, for good, what would happen to your plan? Is the foundation of everything you're building truly protected?